No, sir.
No. Rutul, I can't hear you, beta. Rutul, can you hear?
Hello? Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah. We just got initial two words. After that, we could not hear you. Can you repeat it once again, please?
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and not just opportunity, but uh, a very big thank you for guiding us through this pandemic lockdown, where we were preparing and we wanted someone to guide us in right manner, and you were there for us. And daily webinar were really helpful in order to groom myself and help other who were there in need. So first of all, it's not just my success, it's a combination of efforts everyone has put together in order to get me recommended. And I believe in team efforts, and this is the result why I was able to make it this time. So not wasting much of my time, let's go on to my experience. So those who know me closely, this was my fourth attempt and second recommendation. So in first attempt, I got recommended for NDA 136. In my second attempt, I went to Kolkata for UVS Navy, but I got screened out there. In my third attempt, which was there in March 2020, I went for TGC 131 Army technical entry, but I got conference out, and this was my fourth attempt for SSC Tech 55. So I got recommended through SSB Center Kapurthala on 8th of September 2020. So this journey has been really very special because I have been through ups and downs. So I'll start with my recommendation. So once you get recommended in your first attempt, you feel very special. People work really hard in order to get recommended, but they don't. But having been from Sainik school, where you follow a routine which is already being followed in defense services or maybe in all of the academies, it becomes very easy for you to get into the forces. So I think routine is something which is very important in order to get recommended. So after that, when I went for my second SSB, this is my learning. So what I thought was, when I went for my first attempt, I already knew that I was medical out. But what kept me going was that pride which I will get if I get recommended. That Josh Kina, I am fit for defense services. It's just my medical which is not allowing me to join services. So that kept me going for my SSB even after knowing that I was medical out. So when I went for my SSB, I did not have that performance pressure. I did not went in order to get recommended. I went in order to perform my best. So when I'm there in order to perform my best, it helps me give my best irrespective of what result might be. So I gave my best and I got through. But my second attempt was after 4 years in 2019 November. So when I went there in my second attempt, I went in order to get recommended. So when I went in order to get recommended, I got screened out. So it is very painful to get screened out. So when you have gone to get recommended, it is very hard to get screened out. But it taught me many things. That graduation entry or ND entry में बहुत फर्क होता है. Maturity level changes, your competition changes, and having seen two SSB, one for NDA and one for graduation, I would be comparing both of them simultaneously in order to help people who are also preparing for NDA. So उसके बाद जब मैं आया, so I started working on my OER skills. I started working on my speaking skills. I was not that good at speaking skills because eventually I thought I have degraded my speaking skills. Because school से बाहर निकल के क्या हुआ कि I was there in college, लेकिन college में कोई English बोलता नहीं था. तो फिर eventually मेरी गुजराती तो improve हो गई. स्कूल में रह डिग्रेड हो गई थी, हाँ बाहर निकल के गुजराती improve हो गई, but English की धज्जियां उड़ गई. So I started improving my narration. I started improving.
I'll stop you. In between, your voice is cracking somewhere. Is there any better spot where you have got better connectivity you can get through? So that we have no,
Yes, sir, I'll go outside.
I want uninterrupted speech of yours, so that everybody can listen to you properly. You can get
Right.
you in the terrace also, I don't mind. More important is to listen to you. Yes, go ahead.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. So in college मेरी गुजराती तो improve हो गई क्योंकि I was there with Gujarati people, but eventually I degraded my English skills, English communication skills. Okay. So उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि after getting screened out, I started working on myself. I started reading newspaper loudly. I started communicating with friends. But जब मैं मार्च में when I went for TGC, I got screened in. जब मेरा second SSB था तब out of 140 120 20 were screened in, and in my TGC out of 153 only 15 were screened in. So एक ऐसा रेशियो जहां पे ज्यादा थे वहां पे मैं screened out हुआ. But since I worked upon myself, जहां पे बहुत ही कम selection ratio था, even there I was able to get screened in. So what point I want to tell you is, if you work on yourself, some of the skills like speaking skills, the way you can present your stories, the way you can narrate your stories, the way if you're speaking and you should not have that sound of if you can remove that, it is very soothing to ears. And most importantly, it is very important to smile when you are speaking. So this is something which I always try to inculcate in myself. And it is not that I have got recommended, I don't have points to improve. Life is all about improving. So even after getting recommended, I know what points I need to improve upon, and I'm working on it. So right now I've got recommended for OTA Chennai, SSC Tech, but my ultimate goal is to get into IMA so that I get permanent commission. So I won't be trying in my service. Instead, I'll try to take permanent commission directly. So इसके बाद आते हैं मेरे third attempt में. So what I felt in my third attempt was कि again my speaking skills were not that up to that good standards. I was able to give good answers, but still good answers were not coming on the first place. It were coming after beating around the bush. I was not specific. I was not totally honest. So why was the reason I was not brutally honest when questions were asked to me? Because I think somewhere I lacked that, and I lacked an approach which was ideal for me, not for others, not for service selection board, but that will help me in order to improve as a person. So I think that was a missing point in my third attempt. One more thing I think I should have improved there was my current affairs. So I was not that good at my current affairs, but eventually I was luckiest because my batch was one of the last batch before lockdown who attended SSB, and after that I got time of 6 months. Okay, so what did this 6 months changed me as a person? So I'll start with newspaper. So I forced myself to read newspaper for at least 3 hours. So मैं इंडियन एक्सप्रेस मैंने स्टार्ट कर दिया, और इंडियन एक्सप्रेस को आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग इट वेरी माइन्यूटली. सो इफ यू रीड इंडियन एक्सप्रेस माइन्यूटली, सी उसमें ना ये क्रिमिनल स्टोरीज नहीं पढ़नी है, बट इवन इफ यू minutely read good information, you will take around 2 hours to 3 hours in order to read that paper. और उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. So if you read the newspaper, आपको एक तो बहुत सारी चीजें पता चलेगी what is going on in the world. साथ में if you start reading editorials, you will get to know about experts view कि वो क्या critically सोचते हैं about any of the topics. Or when you are reading editorial, you get idea of different opinion. So why it is important? Because you cannot think as an expert on the first day, but eventually if you start analyzing things from different perspectives, you will get to know कि कैसे analyze करना है. So I started reading editorials. फिर express में the ideas page आता है, फिर एक explained करके page आता है which explains the topics. So मैंने वो पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर दिया. Then as I told कि half an hour मैं loud reading करता था. फिर also what I used to do was कि मैं ना पेपर के अंदर से जो वर्ड्स मेरे को नहीं आते थे उसको मैं निकालता था एंड आई यूज्ड टू फाइंड इट आउट फ्रॉम द डिक्शनरी, वो मोबाइल वाला डिक्शनरी नहीं जो हार्ड कॉपी होता है उसके अंदर से, और उसके अंदर से कॉपी कर देने का। अब उस पे जब आप वर्ड निकालते हो तो उसको वहां पे टिक कर दिया एंड यू आर राइटिंग इट इन योर पर्सनल स्मॉल डायरी। सो व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज कि वो जो बड़ी वाली डिक्शनरी है उसमें आपको सारे शब्द पता है, बट व्हाट डिक्शनरी यू हैव क्रिएटेड फॉर यू, अ पॉकेट डिक्शनरी, उसमें एक भी शब्द ऐसा नहीं है जो आपको पता है। एंड जो पता हो रहे हैं वो यू आर लर्निंग न्यू वर्ड्स, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। देन आफ्टर आई स्टार्टेड रीडिंग नॉवेल्स, और नॉवेल्स में सब तरीके के, एंड मोस्टली माय फोकस दिस टाइम वाज टू रीड सेल्फ हेल्प बुक। फिर मैंने द सीक्रेट पढ़ी, I read autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi, I read biography of Abdul Kalam. So eventually when you read positive books you will get positive impact upon your life, so that also helps. फिर ऐसा नहीं था कि सिर्फ मैंने इतना किया, इवेंचुअली मैं दिन में एक या दो दोस्त को पक्का कॉल लगाता था, आधा घंटा एक घंटा बात करता था पूरा, मतलब जब तक 4 साल में मैंने जितनी बातें नहीं की इतनी मैंने लॉकडाउन में बातें की है। बट my main motive, all people with whom I am not connected since 4 years, was to speak in English and improve my speaking skills. So it is best, see, if you speak normal English, तभी आपको ना डे टू डे लाइफ में हेल्प पड़ेगा टू इन ऑर्डर टू इम्प्रूव योर इंग्लिश। उसके बाद वेबिनार ऑब्वियसली हेल्प मी, बिकॉज वेबिनार में we had different participation, we had different people who had different viewpoints, और एक टॉपिक को हमने जब डिवाइड किया, पीपल यूज्ड टू कम वॉलंटियरली, दे यूज्ड टू पार्टिसिपेट वॉलंटियरली, और जब हम एक दूसरे की हेल्प करते थे, वी यूज्ड टू टेल देम देयर पॉजिटिव्स एंड नेगेटिव्स, इट ऑलवेज हेल्प्स यू। ओके, व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग एज अ टीम, यू आर ऑलवेज एट एडवांटेज। आप कभी भी अकेले उतना काम नहीं कर पाओगे जितना एक टीम कर पाएगी। एंड व्हाई आई एम फोकसिंग दिस, बिकॉज बीइंग एन, see, if you want to be an army officer, first quality which is required is to be a team player. और एक आर्मी ऑफिसर ना सब काम नहीं करता, he will always find a potential in the candidate or in the people who are in peripheral to him, और उनसे वो काम निकलवाएगा। and as sir always say कि ना, we are always best marketing officers because we deal with the lives of the people. तो ये बहुत ही important है। so उसके बाद I started helping out people, मैंने cooking start की, then I started helping my mother in, then I started helping uh, then I started doing household chores। तो ये सब चीज में मैंने मदद करना स्टार्ट किया। तो eventually what happened, my approach towards life changed। eventually I also started meditating। मैं सर के साथ meditation नहीं करता था because my time for meditation was different, my time for exercising was different, and my way of exercising was different, but I exercised regularly and kept my physique as I was there just before my lockdown। eventually I can also say that I improved my physique। so after that I'll directly come to my SSB। so this was the mota thing which I did in order to improve as a person। so after that, when I went for the SSB, there were 143 people who reported, out of which 18 got screened in। so PPDT का ना बहुत ही अलग डर लगा रहता है बहुत लोगों को, and which eventually is true, because if you get screened out, you are wasting your 6 months of service। to be very frank, this is what it is, कि if you are losing your screening, you are losing your 6 months of service। so स्क्रीनिंग के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? सो आई हैव हैविंग गॉट स्क्रीन्ड इन ट्वाइस, हेलो। तो स्क्रीनिंग में क्या हुआ कि स्क्रीनिंग में आई फील OIR प्लेज वेरी मेजर रोल इन ऑर्डर टू क्लियर द स्क्रीनिंग। सो OIR के बाद, see, the screening can be divided in 4 parts: OIR, your story writing, then your narration, and then group discussion. So if you divide everything, if you give weightage, equal weightage to all the task, you will be able to practice अच्छे से करना है, OIR का आपको practice अच्छे से करना है. Then story writing can be improved if you are a positive person and if you perceive your story very nicely. We'll talk about story writing further in आगे बात करेंगे हम. But if you are a positive person, आपको अच्छी story ही निकलेगी. And then after, उसके बाद आएगा narration. So narration में I'll just give you a idea कि क्या करना है. So whenever you are finished with your story writing and when you go for the discussion, even if you are first group to go for the discussion, you will at least get 15 to 20 minutes. तो उसके बीच में you have to narrate your story to yourself 20 to 25 times. You have to improve your stories. उसके अंदर कुछ अच्छी चीजें डालनी है, उसको ना अच्छे से एनालाइज करना है कि इज इट गुड इन ऑर्डर टू इन अगर कोई सुनेगा तो इज इट गुड, आप उसको वहां पे इम्प्रूव भी कर सकते हो. ठीक है, तो वो इम्प्रूव कर देना. ऐसा नहीं है, थोड़ा ऐसा नहीं है कि जो आपने लिखा है सेम टू सेम चीजें लिखनी है, बट यू कैन ऑलवेज एनालाइज योर स्टोरी और उसमें कुछ आप अच्छा एलिमेंट्स डाल सकते हो इफ यू हैव मिस्ड दैट आउट इन योर राइटिंग. And then after comes discussion part. So being a repeater, you will for the fresher it is always a good discussion, but for those who are repeaters, आपको बहुत ही नालायक ग्रुप मिलेगा. टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक, कोई सुनता नहीं है. ठीक है, ग्रुप डिस्कशन में आपको कभी कोई नहीं सुनता. तो व्हाट यू डू इज कि जब कोई नहीं बोल रहा, जब कोई नहीं बोलता है तो यू वांट टू, इफ यू स्पीक, आप ग्रुप से अलग पढ़ रहे हो. ठीक है, बट जब सारे बोल रहे हैं तो बेस्ट वे टू बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम ग्रुप इज टू कीप योरसेल्फ ऑन लिसनर पार्ट. सो जब आप सुनोगे तब भी आप अलग पढ़ रहे हो. व्हेन एवरीवन इन ग्रुप वांट्स टू बी अ स्पीकर, यू बी द लिसनर ऑफ दैट ग्रुप. एंड दैट्स नॉट इट कि आपको लिसनर ही बनना है. यू इवेंचुअली ट्राई टू कंट्रीब्यूट, बट व्हेन यू आर finding out that people are there in your competition, people are speaking simultaneously when you are speaking, so you should give them a chance with a smile and unko do bolne do, and you also try to speak, but whenever they are trying to speak, you give them a chance. So what rule I follow in my group discussion is कि whenever I am trying to speak, I ask myself a question that am I contributing a positive point into the group? If yes, I'll keep speaking. If no, I'll keep my mouth shut. And eventually, whenever I'll get my chance, I'll try to contribute my points. And eventually, whenever I'm contributing a point, I'll ask same question in whole discussion. So this is how I approach my group discussion. And this time what happened? कि we were already divided in two subgroup. तो हमको पहले की तरह ऐसा नहीं कि पूरे ग्रुप को डिस्कशन करवाया एंड देन दो ग्रुप्स डिवाइड करे. वी आर ऑलरेडी डिवाइडेड इन टू सब ग्रुप. तो आई वाज देयर इन सेकंड सब ग्रुप. तो जो फर्स्ट सब ग्रुप था उसने बहुत ही अच्छा डिस्कशन किया एंड दे ऑलमोस्ट मेड 70% to 75% ऑफ द स्टोरी. और जब हमारे ग्रुप में आया तो हमारे ग्रुप ने कुछ अलग ही किया. हमारे ग्रुप ने नई स्टोरी बनाना स्टार्ट की. जनरली सब ग्रुप टू सब ग्रुप क्या होता है कि यू कंटिन्यू द स्टोरी सब ग्रुप वन हैज मेड. तो हमारे ग्रुप ने अलग ही स्टोरी बनाना स्टार्ट किया. तो सिंस फर्स्ट सेंटेंस ऑफ द डिस्कशन माय ओनली पॉइंट वाज कि आई थिंक जेंटलमैन वी शुड कंटिन्यू द स्टोरी ऑफ सब ग्रुप वन एंड वी शुड मेक स्टोरी ऑन दैट. बट I was not getting chance in order to contribute this point. तो मैं 4 मिनट तक स्ट्रगल किया and only this point was there in my mind कि मेरे को यही बोलना है. I was eventually trying to contribute but I was not getting chance. So eventually मेरे को लास्ट में एक मौका मिला wherein I was able to make the point कि gentlemen we should continue the story subgroup one has made. और जैसे ही मेरा point complete हुआ, people started shouting on me कि why we should make the same story, we are different group. और ऐसे ऐसे 4 लोग मेरे पे चिल्ला दिए और इवेंचुअली ऐसे सर बोलते हैं okay gentlemen great discussion you can go out. So after contributing this point I was very much sure that I am getting screened in because I was patient throughout my discussion. I was listening to others I was having smile on my face. Fourth point कि जब कोई नरेट कर रहा था ना, I was nodding. तो इवेंचुअली जब सबका नरेशन हो रहा था, I was not listening to them, but I was nodding to them. और जब मैं नोड कर रहा हूँ, भले ही मैं अपने दिमाग में अपनी स्टोरी को नरेट कर रहा हूँ, बट सामने वाले को तो लगेगा ना कि ही इज लिसनिंग. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई यूज, कि जब कोई दूसरा नरेट करता है, आई नोड टू दैट पर्सन, एंड इवेंचुअली अपने दिमाग में मैं अपनी स्टोरी नरेट करते रहता हूँ. एंड व्हेन मेरा चांस आता है, आई विल नरेट very loud and clear, and I will be very specific. So इस बार what happened in Kapurthala कि हमारे narration में our assessor told us कि if you are exceeding 1 minute, or if I get the theme of your story, I'll say next. So I was not able to complete my story, but because eventually he understood my theme. और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मेरा narration एकदम smooth गया था. My narration was loud and clear, but I did stammered in between of nervousness, but I covered it very nicely after stammering at 1 to 2 points. So ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने अगर stammer कर दिया तो you are out. They also know कि sometimes you may stammer in your narration, so that is not the case to get you screened out. वो कहीं ना कहीं. Okay, now I also want to make a good point here कि मैं जब सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में व्हेन आई गॉट स्क्रीन्ड आउट ना, इनिशियली आई स्टार्टेड ब्लेमिंग दिस सिस्टम कि ना एसएसबी कोलकाता में देयर वाज, वहां पे कैपेसिटी नहीं था, बोर्ड कैपेसिटी वाज नॉट देयर, इसीलिए मेरे को स्क्रीन्ड आउट कर दिया. बिकॉज आई, अदरवाइज मैंने तो बहुत ही अच्छा परफॉर्म किया था. बट देन इवेंचुअली आई स्टार्टेड रियलाइजिंग कि इफ आई ब्लेम दिस सिस्टम, मैं अपने से ही वो इम्प्रूवमेंट का चांस छीन रहा हूँ. So that is why I accepted कि मेरे से ही कुछ गलती हुई होगी, and then after I started improving. So even if you perform your best and if you get screened out, you should not be disheartened and you should not blame the system. Instead, take upon the responsibility and improve yourself, और next time पक्का screening होना ही है. ठीक है. Fun fact, मेरे साथ जो बंदा recommend हुआ था, there were 2 people who got recommended. The person who got recommended with me got recommended in his 12th attempt, and 12th attempt से पहले उसके 3 attempt में he continuously got screened out. So in his 9th, 10th and 11th attempt he got screened out, और 12th में सीधा he got recommended. So that is how you should keep working upon yourself in order to improve. उसके बाद I'll talk about psych now. So I hope everyone, okay, before I go on to psych test, does anyone has any query regarding screening process or whatever we have discussed up to now?
Hello, Rutul Bhaiya.
Hi.
Manan here.
Right, Manan?
Yes, I don't have any query, but you told that assessor said that if you are speaking for at least 1 minute and I got that theme, then I indirectly you are selected, right?
नहीं नहीं, ऐसे नहीं है भाई. सी, अगर
हाँ.
ऐसा होगा कि आप अपनी स्टोरी नरेट कर रहे हो एंड इफ यू आर
Yes.
एक्सीडिंग 1 minute, तब भी वो आपको नेक्स्ट बोल देंगे. दैट मीन्स यू हैव टू स्टॉप, और आपको आपके पीछे जो बंदा है वो अपना नरेशन स्टार्ट करेगा. और
Okay.
दूसरा चीज ऐसा है कि अगर आप अपनी स्टोरी नरेट कर रहे हो और उसके बीच में उनको थीम पता चल गई कि चलो मैंने ट्री प्लांटेशन पे स्टोरी बनाया है, तो उनको पता चल गया कि ऐसा स्टोरी है, तो वो नेक्स्ट बोल देंगे. और स्पीकिंग नेक्स्ट डजंट एश्योर कि भाई वो तुम्हें
Yeah,
स्क्रीन
yeah.
कर रहे हैं. दैट इज नॉट द
Yeah.
एश्योरेंस. क्योंकि हमारे
Okay.
में से out of 25 only 2 people were able to complete their story. बाकी सबको तो नेक्स्ट ही बोला था, और only 3 got screened in out of 25.
Oh. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Right. Anyone else? या शर्माना मत, मैं तुम लोग के ग्रुप का ही हूँ. ओके, चलो आई विल मूव ऑन टू साइक टेस्ट नाउ. साइक टेस्ट में एवरीवन नोज, आई होप, कि 4 पार्ट होते हैं: टेट, वेट, एसआरटी एंड सेल्फ डिस्क्रिप्शन. So to be very frank, I did not prepare for my psych test this time because I thought कि ना मतलब मैंने 2-3 बुक भी पढ़ी थी. इफ यू वुड हैव रेड कर्नल एम नेहरूज बुक की प्रैक्टिकल गाइड फॉर बिकमिंग एन ऑफिसर, एंड मैंने 2-3 ब्लॉग्स में भी पढ़ा था कि इफ यू हैव राइट अप्रोच टुवर्ड्स लाइफ, if you are a progressive person and actually you know the approach of writing story, you need not to practice psych, because if you start practicing psych, you will eventually get themes in your mind. और कभी ना कभी आप बाद में जब एसएसबी में जब स्टोरी लिख रहे हो, तो you will corrupt your mind by writing the same theme which you have wrote in your past. So मैंने इस बार क्या किया था कि जैसे हमारा कमांडर सचिन जोग सर का ये हुआ था, साइक का वेबिनार हुआ था, तो ही शेयर्ड अ वेरी गुड अप्रोच कि तुम्हें टेट में यू हैव टू राइट एक्शन ओरिएंटेड स्टोरी, यू हैव टू राइट रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड स्टोरी, उसको नॉर्मल रखना है, अपनी लाइफ से रिलेट करना है. और अगर लाइफ से रिलेट नहीं कर पाते हो, तो अगर आपने तो आप तभी आपका इमेजिनेशन का पार्ट आएगा. सो जब आप रिलेट नहीं कर पाते हो, यू विल इमेजिन एंड राइट द स्टोरी. सो उसमें भी यू हैव टू बी अ टीम प्लेयर, थिंक लाइक एन ऑफिसर एंड एक्ट लाइक एन जेंटलमैन. सो उसमें आपको क्या करना है कि यू हैव टू यूटिलाइज द रिसोर्सेज विच इज देयर अराउंड यू. तो सब चीज को यूटिलाइज करना है. ऐसा नहीं कि कहीं पे एक्सीडेंट हुआ है तो उसको ना फर्स्ट एड भी मैं दे रहा हूँ, उसका बाइक भी मैं ही ठीक कर रहा हूँ, उसको ट्रैफिक को भी मैं कंट्रोल कर रहा हूँ, एम्बुलेंस भी ला रहा हूँ और प्राइवेट व्हीकल से उठा के उस बंदे को भी ले जा रहा हूँ. सो इवेंचुअली जब भी एक्सीडेंट होता है, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल, डोंट करप्ट योर माइंड विथ solutions which I am giving. Okay, be very open to what I am saying in order to learn, but don't just ratify what I am telling. तो बीइंग एन लीडर आप क्या करोगे, किसी का हेल्प लेके उस बंदे को साइड में ले जाओगे. गाड़ी वाड़ी में से फर्स्ट एड मिल ही जाता है, इवन बाइक में फर्स्ट एड रहता है. या फिर कुछ भी नहीं मिल रहा है तो यू विल एटलीस्ट हैव हैंकी इन ऑर्डर टू गिव दैट पर्सन अ फर्स्ट एड. आप वैसे यूटिलाइज कर रहे हो. ठीक है, फिर अपना कोई दोस्त होगा या फिर क्राउड में से कोई भी इंसान होगा तो उसको आप बोल रहे हो कि उसका बाइक साइड कर दे यार, तो ट्रैफिक वाफिक ना हो. या फिर आप फिर एम्बुलेंस को कॉल कर रहे हैं, एम्बुलेंस में नहीं आ रहा है तो यू आर स्टॉपिंग इन प्राइवेट व्हीकल, या फिर आपके पास व्हीकल है तो आप उसको लेके जा रहे हो. सो अल्टीमेटली सारी चीजें आप नहीं कर रहे हो, बट यू आर यूटिलाइजिंग रिसोर्सेज अराउंड यू, क्योंकि एक्सीडेंट में भीड़ हो ही जाती है. और जब भीड़ हो जाती है और बीइंग एन लीडर आप भीड़ को कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते हो, तो फिर it is very hard to become an officer. So think like an officer, utilize resources around you, और best way to do is utilize human resources. और सबसे important resources जैसे मैंने अभी बोला, it is human resource. ठीक है, so we have to deal with human resource, तो try to utilize it in best possible way. तो this was my approach कि I'll keep story very normal, उसको अपने experiences से लिखना है. I'll first try to reflect that story in my life. I'll write story action oriented, solution oriented, सेंट्रल कैरेक्टर पे स्टोरी लिखनी है. हीरो ट्रैप में नहीं घुसना है, हीरो पे स्टोरी नहीं बनानी है, बिकॉज अगर हम हीरो पे स्टोरी बनाते हैं तो हम सिर्फ हीरो की बात करेंगे कि हीरो के 2 हाथ थे, हीरो के 2 पैर थे. हमको सेंट्रल कैरेक्टर पे स्टोरी बनानी है, तो हम सेंट्रल कैरेक्टर की बात करेंगे, उसके आसपास के लोगों की भी बात करेंगे, लेकिन उसमें सेंट्रल कैरेक्टर अपने रिसोर्सेस कैसे यूटिलाइज करता है उसकी बात करेंगे. ठीक है, सो दैट वाज माय अप्रोच इन टेट. और फिर बात करते हैं वेट की. तो वेट में एज वी नो कि ऑब्जर्वेशनल सेंटेंसेस आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो व्हाट इज ऑब्जर्वेशनल सेंटेंसेस? सो इफ आई नो कि मैं अगर अगर मान लो मैं अनुलोम विलोम करता हूँ, तो ठीक है, अगर कहीं पे नर्वसनेस आया, सो having been experienced yoga, I can say कि yoga reduces nervousness. This is my observation. So if you write observation, it will always help you. और ज्यादा वेट में even I have experienced nervousness for the vet, but eventually when I approach this time very naturally, मेरा वो सारा डर निकल गया है. ठीक है, सो वेट से डरने की जरूरत नहीं है कि 15 सेकंड में कैसे वर्ड्स आएंगे, कैसे रिस्पॉन्सेस लिखेंगे. You have to be very normal. Words are very simple. You can attempt all these 60 words if you have good writing speed. और उसमें ऐसा कोई knowledge की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, you have to be very natural in order to write the responses. वो लो लेवल फैक्ट नहीं लिखने हैं, जैसे फादर आ गया तो फादर ऑफ द नेशन इज महात्मा गांधी, ऐसा नहीं लिखना है। फिर सेकंड चीज इसकी कोई जैसे हाँ फ्लैग आ गया तो यू डोंट हैव टू राइट कि इंडियन फ्लैग हैज 4 कलर, दिस इज वेरी लो लेवल फैक्ट। अगर थर्ड स्टैंडर्ड को भी बोलोगे तो उनको भी पता होगा कि ये ऐसा है। इंस्टेड इफ यू वांट टू राइट फैक्ट, राइट हाई लेवल फैक्ट, सो ऑब्जर्वेशनल। और हाँ एक और अप्रोच आई वुड से कि जनरली क्या होता है कि कोई नेगेटिव वर्ड्स आता है ना तो हम उससे पॉजिटिव वर्ड में लिख देते हैं। जैसे फॉर एन एग्जांपल डिसऑनेस्टी आ गया तो डिसऑनेस्टी में वी विल राइट सेंटेंसेस ऑन ऑनेस्टी, ऐसे नहीं करना है, उसकी जगह पे डिसऑनेस्टी पे ही सेंटेंस बनाओ एंड राइट विथ एन अप्रोच कि अगर मैं डिसऑनेस्टी पे बनाऊंगा तो एक्चुअली बीइंग डिसऑनेस्ट क्या प्रॉब्लम मेरे को हो सकती है, तो वही लिखो कि बीइंग डिसऑनेस्ट पीपल डोंट ट्रस्ट यू, राइट। सो दिस इज व्हाट इट इज। फिर फॉर एन एग्जांपल रैगिंग आ गया तो रैगिंग रैगिंग जो रिलेशनशिप होती है उसको बिगाड़ती है। दिस इज माय ऑब्जर्वेशन रिगार्डिंग रैगिंग। सो राइट व्हाटएवर इज गिवन टू यू, तो उसको मैनिपुलेट करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। एंड बी वेरी पॉजिटिव, राइट सेंटेंसेस अपॉन योरसेल्फ, योर लाइफ, try to reflect your activities into the responses, and that will help you. Then after talking about SRT, so situation reaction test is I think very easiest task given to us in psych, but for the graduates I will say कि कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होता है ना जितना दिखता है उतना सिंपल नहीं होता। every problem at least have one hidden problem in it. For an example, this example was given by Sachin Jok sir कि your brother has lost his मतलब उसका एडमिशन नहीं हुआ है इन मेडिकल कॉलेज जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ 1 मार्क्स। सो व्हाट यू विल डू? तो अगर मैं एनडीए का प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूँ तो मैं इतना लिख के निकल सकता हूँ कि मैं उसको बोल दूंगा कि दूसरे कॉलेज में ट्राई कर या फिर दूसरे ईयर पे ट्राई करना। बट बीइंग एन ग्रेजुएट यू आर मोर इमोशनली एंड मोर मैच्योरली इवॉल्व। सो व्हाट यू विल फर्स्ट डू कि मैं उसको कंसोल करूंगा, बिकॉज सी बीइंग अभी मेंटल हेल्थ की बहुत सारी बात हो रही है। सो अभी उसका आप मेंटल हेल्थ का ध्यान नहीं रखोगे तो फिर कौन रखेगा? तो यू विल कंसोल दैट पर्सन, राइट, एंड देन आफ्टर यू विल टेल कि ट्राई नेक्स्ट ईयर या फिर दूसरे कॉलेज में ट्राई कर। सो if you actually see all the problem and analyze very correctly, you will find different problems. तो starting में time लो, utilize and अपना जो analytical skills है उसको improve करो in order to identify what problems are there in situations. So this will help you in order to approach SRT. About self description, I did not prepare my self description. Instead of preparing, I approached whatever opinions I have to take from whatever person. I approached my parents, I approached my teacher in order to know their responses. I approached my friend and I wrote whatever it was there with me. तो मतलब मेरे साथ ये उनको प्रॉब्लम है तो आई रोट दैट डाउन। और उसके बाद उसमें एक चीज मैं बताऊंगा विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि फॉर एन एग्जाम्पल इफ माई स्पीकिंग स्किल्स आर नॉट गुड लेकिन मैं बस उस पर रो रहा हूँ इन द सेंस सर I am not good at English speaking skill, that is my weakness, so that does not help me as a person. Lekin if I say ki my English speaking skills are not good but I am reading newspaper in order to improve my English speaking skills, I am communicating my friends in order to improve my speaking skills, so this is a right approach कि ना आप बता रहे हो कि this is my weakness, उसके साथ साथ मैं ये कर रहा हूँ in order to improve my weakness, राइट। और अगर बीइंग एजुकेटेड आपको अपनी वीकनेस पता है, बीइंग एन एस्पायरेंट आपको वीकनेस पता है, स्टिल यू आर नॉट वर्किंग ऑन इट, आप बता नहीं रहे हो कि मैं उस पे ऐसे वर्क कर रहा हूँ, तो वो एक पड़ा पड़ा हुआ गवाह टाइप फीलिंग है, ठीक है। सो ट्राई टू एनालाइज योरसेल्फ एंड आई नो कि आप सब भी काम करते हो बट इट इज वे ऑफ गिविंग एन आंसर। मैं जस्ट आप मेरे को बताओ व्हाट इज योर वीकनेस, I don't have good stamina in terms of running, अगर मैंने ऐसे बोल दिया तो चलो ठीक है, बट अगर मैं आपको ऐसे बोलूं कि I'm not good at running बट मैं अभी स्किपिंग कर रहा हूँ, I'm cycling in order to improve my stamina, तो that gives you an idea कि this person knows about himself and he's actually working on it, और जितना मैं डिटेल में आपको बताऊंगा कि मैं ये करता हूँ वो करता हूँ, उतना इट विल मेक यू बिलीव कि आई एम एक्चुअली डूइंग, चाहे भली वो मैं स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ, मैं सच बता रहा हूँ नहीं बता रहा हूँ, बट if you are actually doing that, you will approach that question in detail, so that will help you. I was able to write all 12 stories. जो blank story थी, also I wrote that blank story on the spot. About that I was able to do 57 word, and I was able to write 57 sentences. Regarding SRT, I was able to write 37 responses, but all the 37 responses were in detail, and they were they were actually addressing all the problems in the SRT. And self description, I was very natural, and as I told you, this was my approach. I was writing positives, I was writing things they want me to improve as a person, and I also wrote what is my opinion on myself and what kind of person I want to be. So all that what I wrote was very natural, and that helped me to write confident replies in psych test. So anyone have any doubt regarding psych test? यार पूछ लो.
Yeah, hi Rutul, Hemant here.
Hi Hemant.
So Rutul, could you please tell me regarding the blank story? Like, what are the things that we can write over there? Just example.
See, just see, as test starts, if you listen to instructions very carefully, you will be told कि see, it is left upon you. You can imagine any of the stories. तो आपने जो 11 stories लिखी है ना, आपने कैसे लिखी है, you very well knows it, ठीक है? और आपने जैसे लिखी है वैसी वो 12th स्टोरी लिखनी है. बस आप पिक्चर कोई भी इमेजिन कर सकते हो. यू कैन ऑल्सो राइट वर्चुअल स्टोरी, मतलब which is practical. Virtual story means which is not related to your life, but it is experience of someone else. You can also write that. You can write a best experience you had in your life, जो आपका achievement था या फिर your biggest achievement. You can write anything. ठीक है? I'll not say any story in order to corrupt your mind, because that
It's
is
fine.
what I have experienced in my SSB. कि मतलब एक्चुअली वो मेरे को भी ट्रबल किया था इन स्टार्टिंग की. मैं भी ना यूट्यूब पे जाके दूसरे का एक्सपीरियंस सुनते सुनते ये सुनता था कि वो पिक्चर को देख के वो कैसे परसीव कर रहे हैं, बट दैट विल एक्चुअली हार्म यू फॉर योर एसएसबी. दैट इज व्हाई राइट सेम type of story which you have wrote in your previous 11 slides.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
hope that answers your
Rutul,
question.
one sec. Hemant,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
what exactly wanted to know?
सर मतलब कोई आप हम जो प्रीवियस स्टोरीज लिखे उसमें से हम लिंक करके 12th स्टोरी लिख सकते हैं, ऐसा सर मैं बोल रहा था. ऐसा, या हम लाइफ एक्सपीरियंस लिख
Can't see
सकते
you.
हैं,
Where
ऐसा
are you?
कुछ. आई एम राइट नाउ एट होम सर.
नहीं नहीं. Hemant Tank, na?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Okay. First and the foremost thing, what I want to tell you is, you're not being assessed in isolation on one particular subject.
Okay
It
sir.
is not like if physics में, mathematics में, chemistry में आपने 30 नंबर लाने हैं या 70 नंबर लाने हैं.
Right sir.
Your picture story writing or your WAT or your SRT, they all are interlinked in one way or the other. Even your
Right sir.
PIQ form, what interview, what you talk, what you are writing in the story, and what words, what sentences you make for each word that is shown to you, they all are interlinked. It is not the test of your English, it is not the test of your knowledge, it is just trying to find your qualities which army wants in each officer today, or
Right sir.
defense forces want in each officer today. So do not get bogged down कि मेरे यार उस शब्द को बढ़िया सा मैंने सेंटेंस डालना है, हाई फाई इंग्लिश इसका इक्विवेलेंट ढूंढ के और कैम्ब्रिज वाला 2-4 शब्द डाल दूंगा तो मैं अच्छा करूंगा. नो, वी आर नॉट देयर टू चेक योर इंग्लिश. We are not there to look for ornamental language, but to know the mind
Okay, sir.
and the body of a human being. More so the mind. Is he a team person? Is he having a leadership qualities? Is he the kind who can find solutions to any, emergencies which one gets into in case of any war or in case of any, abnormal situations which are not common. Corona again, 90% of the IS officers have failed miserably. Why? Because they have never thought of it. The kind of solutions which have come from defense forces from various directions is alarming, because they are not that they were very high IQ or something. It is purely because they've been tackling variety of situation all their life through. Okay. And let me tell you, after having gone through this epidemic for last so many years, or so many months, I can vouch for it. And the way the Rajkot civil governors keep contacting me, it is evidence enough for me to realize कि Forge, what they made us over a period of time is something one never knew you could tackle such, situations in life. Who is this Josh type? Josh type, what's your name? Unmute yourself.
My name is Urvish, sir.
Who?
Urvish.
Urvi.
Urvish.
Purvesh, where are you from?
Sir, I am from Surat. I'm ex Balachadi.
You are ex Balachir. Why aren't you writing your name correctly? What is it? Josh type? Josh type was written there. Which house
Sir,
are
it
you?
is NDA term. Sir,
Which?
I was in SP house. Same as Rutul, sir.
Sardar Patel house.
He is my junior.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Rutul
He's
is
my
your junior.
No, he is my junior, sir.
He is your junior. What's
Yes,
your
sir.
roll number,
Yes, sir.
Urvesh? School roll number?
My roll 5368.
53.
68.
Okay, fine. Always be here with your name on, okay? And
Okay,
that goes for Parth. Why are you hiding? Parth? So have I answered your question, Hemant?
Yes, sir. Thank
So
you very much, sir.
this does not go for you, it goes for every one of you, each one of you.
Yes,
So
sir.
please, for God's sake, do not try to copy anybody's story or SRT में उसकी वो बनाओ ये बनाओ मत करो. The first reaction that you get in your mind, you take it through. और मैं हमेशा एक ही चीज हमेशा बताता हूँ, whatever you tackle, whether it is WT, whether it is SRT, whether it is your interview, always think of the national interest first, team interest next, and your personal interest last, always and every time. ठीक है? If
Yes,
you
sir.
go with this yardstick, let me tell you, 90% of the case you have gone through it. You are a short recommended case. But you try and change your personality. वहाँ पे कोई एक बंदा आ गया previous experience वाला, उसने क्या दो शब्द बोल दिया रात को, मॉर्निंग में जाके you try to vomit it out. स्पेशली जो रिपीटर्स है ना, उनसे दूरी रहा करो, उनसे हेलो हाई कर लो. आपको पहली बार अगर गए हो जिसको कुछ भी नहीं पता है, कैप्टन चक्रवर्ती जैसे किसी का गाइडेंस नहीं लिया आपने, एंड यू आर अ रो एंड यू हैव नो आइडिया, तो बेसिक बता दो क्या क्या टेस्ट होते हैं यार, दैट्स इट. Otherwise, just apply your own mind. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rutul.
Sir, Shweta Jha here.
Yeah, Shweta.
Sir, I just want to know that how to manage the time during SRT.
Talk to me separately.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you the exact technique how to go about doing it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Is this SRT issue with anybody else also here?
Sir, I'll answer it. Can I answer it, sir?
Please go ahead.
Sir, actually, when we attended webinar of Commander Sachin Jok sir, and actually I have heard this through many of the success stories which is being published in, I've read through many of the success stories which is being published in SSB Crack and different platforms. Actually SRT mein, when you are graduate, you can analyze situations from very different angles, and you will have different problems in it. एनडीए में आपको वो अथॉरिटी नहीं होती है, तो एनडीए में तो मैं 60 के 60 करके आया था, और लास्ट अटेम्प्ट में व्हेन आई गॉट कॉन्फ्रेंस आउट तब भी मैं 60 के 60 करके आया था. बट इवेंचुअली व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड टू एनालाइज द सिचुएशंस वेरी करेक्टली, इट इज, if you analyze situations very correctly, you will be able to do fairly about 45 के आसपास. And this is what Sachin jokes are told कि ना जनरली जितने रिकमेंड होते हैं विद दे डू इट अराउंड 45 to 50, और उससे थोड़ा आसपास के हो चलता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. बट इवेंचुअली एसआरटी में क्वालिटी मैटर्स ओवर क्वांटिटी, बट क्वांटिटी को भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करना है. So you have to find a middle path where you are also giving quantity and quality too. So that was what sir told us, and that is what I followed.
Okay, thank you.
Urvish, give me a call. Do you have my number?
Yes,
Urvish,
sir. I have
you got my number?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, give me a call either tonight after about half an hour or tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, anybody, any
Yes.
other question? Yeah, Rutul, anything else?
Sir, I have to cover interview and GTO task.
Kar lo, फटाफट.
Okay. So then after I had my interview, so before my batch, the two of the batch were cancelled because psychologist of Kapurthala got corona positive. So when we went there, 80 out in 18, there were 5 interviewing officers. So we thought कि ना पहले दिन पे we'll get rest, और 18 got screened in, तो 2 interviewing officers होंगे, और जनरली कपूरथला तो नया बोर्ड है, बट सारे इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर्स फ्री थे, तो 18 के बीच में 5 इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर्स, तो सबका पहले दिन ही बारी आ जाना था. बट लकीली आई ओनली 2 पीपल, आई वाज देयर इन ग्रुप 4, और हमारे ग्रुप में 4 लोग थे, तो ओनली 2 पीपल गॉट इंटरव्यूड ऑन फर्स्ट डे, and I had my turn on second day. So I think what was if I have to tell you ki what what helped me in my interview, first of all I will say a smile, because that plays a very important role in your interview. Second, I will say honesty, and third, I will say confidence. So if you have all the three, if you have combination of these 3 factors, any of the interview, even if you are not able to answer the question, but if you tackle that with smile, that will show ki this person actually does not fear rejection. Because otherwise, if I tell you ki na, in my third attempt I was asked many technical questions, many questions regarding current affairs. So this time I have worked upon my current affairs. I was ready for technical questions which will be imparted on me, because the entry which I'm going is a technical entry. So I was ready for it, but to my surprise, not a single question was asked from technical aspect. Not a single question was asked from current affairs. Not a single question was asked from my NCC. Not a single question was asked from Indian Army. तो मतलब ये सब चीजें कुछ भी नहीं पूछी गई थी. माई इंटरव्यू लास्टेड फॉर अराउंड 50 मिनट्स के आसपास. आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट द टाइम बिकॉज आई डिड नॉट मॉनिटर, but I'll say it lasted around 50 minutes, and all of the interview was regarding my personality. So what we can conclude is कि number of technical question may vary or not, may vary. Number of questions on organization may vary. Number of questions which are being from current affairs may vary. But what remains same is questions on you. Question related to your personality. So when we prepare for interview, first thing we should not forget is it is personality based interview. So eventually your personality will only help you to crack this interview, right? So I worked upon myself, and when any questions was asked upon me, I was very honest, and my approach this time was ki tell I'll answer questions very briefly. So if you tell me ki what how I have improved myself from last attempt. So as I told you in starting कि मैंने ये सब किया, I started running, I started skipping, फिर मैंने newspaper पढ़ना start किया. तो eventually if I'm telling you very much in brief, when I'm telling कि I started reading Indian Express, उसके साथ साथ मैं आपको columns भी बता रहा हूँ कि I have read that. If I'm telling you कि I have started reading books, so if I'm telling you कि these are the books I have read, these are the authors of that book, and this is the basic plot of this book, and this is what I have learned. So when I'm telling you that in brief, eventually you will start believing me. So it is very important to, generate trust in the assessors. So whatever questions was given to me, I was answering that question in brief. So in starting, what happened, he did heard my one or two answers very briefly, very patiently. But then after that, trust was generated. So as I was answering questions in brief, so he was stopping me in between. Okay, gentlemen, I have got your point. Let us move on to next question. So this happened to me when I was answering ki, or, what was the question? What did you organize in your college? I told ki sir, I was coordinator of decoration committee, and this is what we did. This is how we planned it out. This is how we made a budget. हमने team ऐसे खड़ी की थी. There were these people. तो ये सब जब मैं बताने लगा, so he understood and he stopped me in between. कि okay, I have got your point. Let us move on to next question. ऐसे करके. So this time I was asked, see, and then after, as I told you, ki positives and negatives are very important. So this time I was asked question ki, okay, tell me something that, tell me about your friends, specify them, and then after tell their positives and then negatives. After telling their positives and negative, tell me something you will like to learn from them, and at last tell me ki what they should learn from you. So फिर what I did was कि I did told him कि sir I have a large friend of circle. फिर मैंने दो को specify किया, two from male, two from female, and then after I told their positives, their negatives, qualities which I would like to learn from them. To be this was to simplify this. Uh, the interviewing officer is asking ki what are your weakness and what are you doing in order to improve upon them. So I connected my weakness with strengths of my friend, and I told ki this is how I want to improve. And then after, what my friend should learn from me are my positives. So the things which I'm good at, that is what my friends would always love to learn from me. So I connected. So at the end of the day, I was able to connect all the dots which were there. And then after, jab, routine, as I told ki routine plays a major role. So when it came to my routine, as I told ki I was meditating, I told him ki sir, this was the time when I used to meditate. Then I told ki this is the time where I read my newspaper. This is the time I help my mother. This is the time where I help when I talk to my friends. So I was able to exhibit whatever I have told my interviewing officer into my routine, and that confirms that I actually was doing that, and I was actually following a routine from 6 months. So this has helped me. And one question which was asked to me was, see, as I was emphasizing on meditation, he told me ki, uh, see, being at this age, I don't perform I don't do meditation. So what is the need of you to do meditation at such a young age? So I'll just answer this, not in order to tell you ki what answer should be, but in order to tell you ki why meditation is important. So since we know that being a student, learning from your mistake is very important. So it can only happen if you know yourself better. So if you meditate, you will get chance to know yourself. You will self analyze. You will learn new things. and then that is how you will improve as a person. So that is why meditation is important, and I'll request everyone to take time out and meditate, because I'll just say this is something which helped me to get recommended. So anyone have any quiz? Acha, I missed out that rapid fire. So first of all, let's not call that rapid fire, because it is series of questions which is being asked. So वो series of questions are always related to you, and it is nothing hard कि आप आंसर नहीं कर पाओगे. And एक stigma है कि if we miss out any question, so that is gives negative impression upon interviewing officer. But if you miss out any question, you can always ask interviewing officer ki sir, can you remind me some questions which I missed out. So don't worry about it कि अगर आपको कोई series of questions पूछे जाते हैं interviewing officer में, तो it will always be regarding one topic. वो ऐसा नहीं है कि friends के बारे में बात करते करते he will include a question कि tell me about your friend or your mother, and ऐसे नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है. So this is how it is. So anyone have any doubt regarding interview?
Yes, Rutul Bhai, Manan here again.
Right, Manan.
Yeah, you are told that that series of questions will be asked to us. Then is it necessary to give answer by sequence, or if we miss any answer and just skip that, and after that answer we give that skip the answer, skip question answer. So is it necessary?
See, I'll tell you two things. When I went for my NDA, I was not able to answer my questions in series, but I was able to answer most of my questions. And when I went for this attempt, I was answering questions in series, and I was able to answer most of questions. So in my first attempt also I got recommended, in this attempt also I got recommended. So it is not about how many questions you answer. See, it is about how many questions you answer, but it is more about how you answer your questions, how you present your point. And interviewing officer is there to know you. So if you will miss out an important question, he will always remind you ki, gentlemen, you have missed out this point. And
Yeah.
the mostly, if you miss out your point, it is because of your nervousness. But if you'll be very calm, so it will be easy for you to answer that questions.
Yeah.
So be very comfortable, and have that confidence that I'll be able to answer in the जाना है,
नहीं,
confidence से जाना है.
sure. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so now I'll move to group task. So group task में our first task was group discussion, and starting में I'll tell about group discussion. So group discussion में क्या हुआ था कि 18 got screened in, तो we thought कि 9 का group बनेगा, but we were lucky कि हमारा group 6 का बना. And why I'm telling you that we are lucky, because when group is small, you will get more opportunity to present your point and very smoothly. But for group discussion, this was not an advantageous point, because हमारे group में there were 3 hardcore repeaters, and they were facing SSB for 22nd, 20 and 18th time respectively. So उनका problem ये था कि ना, as I'm speaking right now, ये जो मैं बीच में जैसे full stop लगा दिया. So generally what good people do कि वो full stop के बाद बोलते हैं. But what they were doing is कि जैसे मैं अभी बोल रहा हूँ तो कोई बीच में बोलना स्टार्ट कर देगा, और साथ में अगर चलो गलती से उसके पास पेशेंस नहीं है and that person has started speaking, but eventually if I tell कि gentlemen please let me complete my point, पर तब भी वो नहीं रुक रहे थे. So that was the major problem. So group discussion में तो I was not able to give good points, but what kept me in the game was again a smile, patiently listening to others. जब खुद को मौका नहीं मिल रहा है तो आप क्या कर रहे हो, दूसरे का गर्दन काट रहे हो कि आप सुन रहे हो. That is what what is more important. तो बस I was listening, I was enjoying task कि चलो कोई नहीं तू बोल दे भाई, अब ऐसा कर रहा है, चलो तेरा कॉन्फिडेंस होती है, मैं तो सिलेक्ट हो जाऊंगा. So this is what you tell yourself. So I was listening to them, but eventually I was also, you know, uh, presenting my points whenever I was getting chance. But यही कि I was not, getting worried कि मेरे को chance नहीं हो रहा है. Chance तो मिलेगा ही, कभी ना कभी मिलेगा, and it does not depend on just one task. अगर आप एक task में अच्छा नहीं कर पाते हो, so ऐसा disheartened नहीं होना है, because it is evaluation of all the tasks. पर total तो 9 task है, तो 9 task में कहीं ना कहीं तो अच्छे से फोड़ देंगे, एक में नहीं आया तो अच्छा. So this was my approach. और उसके बाद group planning exercise में भी I gave a fairly good solution, but eventually discussion में I realized कि there can be a better solution than what solution I wrote. So I eventually accepted it and helped the group in order to give good solution. हाँ, I missed out something कि group discussion के बाद when our assessor went for a walk, मैंने बोल दिया उस बंदे को कि क्या कर रहा है, मैंने गलिया दिया था उसको एसएसबी में ही. तो eventually he understood the point, and then after fortunately he did not repeated that mistake, और उसके बाद तो हमारा ग्रुप बहुत मस्त चला. So then after in group planning exercise, sorry, group plan not, in progressive group task, command task, half group task and final group task, our assessor told us, our GTO told us कि ना, you can mutually decide internally if you want to exchange your position, you need not to seek permission from me. So what held me in group task कि इस बार मेरा ग्रुप अच्छा था. एक्चुअली अगर कोई आगे जा रहा है, if he is not getting idea, अगर मैं उसको बोल रहा हूँ कि as per 13 can we switch, so he was that person was instantly acknowledging my call. And this also happened with me कि I was at front foot, I was trying to apply an idea and I did not had idea, लेकिन पीछे से there was a person who told me कि can we switch, so I agreed and we switched our position. So it is not necessary कि being a leader you will always get an idea of the solution, but अगर आपको solution का idea नहीं, मतलब आपको solution नहीं आ रहा है, तो are you helping those कि जिसको idea आ रहा है? So it is very important to those and push those जिसको idea आ रहा है. So it is all about playing in a team. So that will always help you, and I'll request everyone to master that skill of tying rope, because what helped me in this group task, progressive group task, half group task, कि आइडिया किसी और का होता था, आगे कोई और टाई कर रहा है, बट उसको रोप बांधना नहीं आता था, तो मैं बोलता था जेंटलमैन चेस्ट नंबर 17 कैन वी स्विच. अब उसको रोप बांधना ही नहीं आ रहा है तो उसको स्विच करना ही पड़ेगा. तो मैं ऐसे बोल रहा हूँ आई कैन कम एंड टाई दी रोप. तो आइडिया किसी और का, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कोई और कर रहा था, लेकिन लास्ट में क्रेडिट में ले जा रहा था. ठीक है. देन आफ्टर आई ऑल्सो टेल यू वन मोर अप्रोच कि स्टार्टिंग में जैसे ही ये प्रोग्रेसिव ग्रुप टास्क ये सब स्टार्ट होता है ना, सब फट्टा बल्ली रस्सी लेके दौड़ जाते हैं. अब मैं क्या कर रहा था, जब सब दौड़ रहे थे ना, मैं पीछे वो कंटेनर रहता है जिसमें लोड रहता है, रेती भरी हुई रहती है, ठीक है. अब उसको कोई नहीं उठाता, लेकिन एक्चुअली बीइंग अ टीम यू हैव टू कैरी दैट लोड थ्रू आउट दैट ऑब्स्टिकल्स, उसको क्रॉस अपने साथ ही करवाना है. तो मैं मस्त आराम से पीछे से लोड उठाते हुए जाता था. ठीक है. और जब आगे कोई फंसता था ना, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मैं लोड उठा के पीछे हूँ, तो ऐसा नहीं है मैं सॉल्यूशन अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व नहीं करता था, मैं लोड पकड़ते ही बोल रहा हूँ अगर कोई रोप टाई कर रहे हैं ना, हाँ वेरी गुड, दिस इज वर्केबल आइडिया, प्लीज टाई दी रोप करेक्टली. उसके बाद जैसे वो रोप टाई कर रहा है तो प्लीज टाई सेफ्टी नॉट इन ऑर्डर टू. अब जैसे ये सेफ्टी नॉट, ये सब मैंने बेसिक माउंटेनियरिंग कोर्स करा था व्हेन आई वाज देयर इन 12th फ्रॉम माय स्कूल. सो दिस आई न्यू कि ना, जब भी आप नॉट ये नॉट टाइट करते हो, टाई करते हो, तो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू टाई सेफ्टी नॉट. तो जब मैं ऐसे टर्म्स यूज कर रहा हूँ, सो आई एम एट एडवांटेज. तो मैं आइडिया नहीं दे रहा हूँ, बट स्टिल आई एम encouraging दैट पर्सन इन ऑर्डर टू गिव सॉल्यूशन. सो दिस हेल्प मी. एंड देन आफ्टर ये हो गया, देन इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल में एज आई टोल्ड कि आई वाज वर्किंग ऑन माय फिटनेस, सो आई वाज एबल टू डू 13 ऑब्स्टिकल्स आउट ऑफ, मतलब 10 करने होते हैं 3 मिनट्स में, सो आई वाज एबल टू डू 13. and I planned it in a such a way that I repeated 6, 8 and 10 in serially. फिर जो हमारा ग्रुप ऑब्स्टिकल रेस होता है उसमें हमारा जो चेस नंबर 18 था, he was very fat. तो क्या हुआ कि my group was last one to cross all the obstacles. तो when your group is last, आपको एक एडवांटेज होता है कि आपको पेनल्टी नहीं मिलती है, बिकॉज ग्रुप ऑब्स्टिकल रेस में क्या होता है, जनरली जो जितने भी ग्रुप साथ में होते हैं ना, सबको साथ में फिनिश करवाते हैं. तो जो फर्स्ट ग्रुप था, उस फर्स्ट ग्रुप ने हमको एक ऑब्स्टिकल का लीड दिया था, और इवेंचुअली आगे जाते जाते तो वो दो ऑब्स्टिकल का हो गया था. तो उनको वापस टास्क कराए जा रहे हैं, और हम तो पीछे से आराम से आ रहे हैं. बट उसमें भी क्या है कि यू हैव टू शाउट योर वॉर क्राई, यू हैव टू हेल्प योर पीपल. वो मोटा है तो क्या हुआ, ही इज देयर इन योर टीम, उसको साथ में लेके जाना है. तो उसको दीवार चढ़ाते चढ़ाते ना हम हाफ गए थे, बट that is how you work as a team. So that is why, if you have good physique, you are at advantage, you are always at advantage. So improve upon your physique, improve upon your stamina. That will always help you, not just in SSB, but agar aap normal life mein bhi agar if you are fit, it will always be advantage. So uske baad lecturate mein I'll tell ki I was not very much confident when I went for my first attempt. तो lecturate is something I used to fear, but उसमें डर पता है क्यों लगता है, because we actually don't have good knowledge about the topic. But this time when I was more into reading, this time when I was more into listening, I will say, because listening also helps you to improve your knowledge. So हमने इतने सारे webinar करे थे, we were already into this lecturate and group discussion. So I did know about the topics, so that helped me. So my topic was global warming. बाकी के दो टॉपिक पता ही नहीं थे, because actually I did not know about the topics. तो मैंने वो दो टॉपिक छोड़ दिए, and the fourth topic was sports day at my school. So I preferred I'll speak on global warming. So global warming में I introduced the topic, and this time I approached कि ना मैं facts की जगह I'll give my personal opinion कि what we can do about it in our daily lives to reduce global warming. So my approach in lecturate was can give solutions instead of just talking about problem. मैं problem को ऐसा नहीं है कि problem को introduce नहीं करूंगा, I'll introduce the problem, but I'll focus more on solutions. So that is what I did. And once if you have knowledge, it is easy to present yourself. And as further we'll have webinars, I'll just request to participate more in order to improve your speaking skills, in order to improve your communication skills, and also to improve how you present your point, because that will always help you. अगर टूटी फूटी बोलनी है तब भी बोलो. I see most of them who have attended webinar, who have did webinar with me know कि जब हमारे वेबिनार होते थे मैं कंट्रीब्यूट करता था, और उस वक्त मैं बीच में नहीं बोल पाता था, but still I was a contributor, but eventually that helped me to improve my speaking skills. So I'll just say कि जब भी हम ये सब start करें, please participate on first hand. Then after बस ये तो हो गया. Command task में I had very simple command task. I was able to do it within 4 minutes. So वो तो हो गया था. And then coming towards conference, I was made to wait for 5 minutes, and then after मेरा अंदर एक अच्छा सा conference चला था 5 मिनट का. And one of the important incidents I'll say, I shared my conference in writing. I hope you have gone through it. But एक चीज मेरे को share किया गया था कि ना मेरे से बोलते हैं कि okay, you are from Sainik school, so recently a decision has been taken कि girls को भी Sainik school में डाल रहे हैं. तो I said yes sir. तो उन्होंने मेरे को कैसे फंसाया, मैंने मास्क पहना हुआ था, I was wearing shield, but still he told कि Rutul, I see you smiling. Why are you smiling? You are from Gujarat, where you play garba with girls. You're not from North India, where you don't see girls and you're not living with them. So why you are smiling? अब ऐसे करके फंसा दिया, तो मैं क्या बोलूं. तो मैंने बोला कि सर representation of Gujarati is very less in defense services and getting girls into Sainik school will help us to improve our representation in defense services. अब when I have given this answer, I was very proud of myself कि यार क्या अच्छा आंसर दिया है. तो वो बोलते हैं कि you want girls to lead you. मैंने बोला यार इसका ऐसे रिप्रेजेंटेशन थोड़ी होता है. So I said कि no sir, I don't want. So we both can lead together. So and then after through corner of my eye, I saw my GTO smiling, and then फिर थोड़ा और normal बातें हुई, and then after I was out. Fun fact, my GTO was a lady officer. So when I saw her smiling, I was very much sure कि my conference is going good. And when I came outside, I was very confident कि इस बार तो हो जाएगा, because इस बार my motive was to give my best. Abhi, when I have to conclude, I'll just say something, and I want you to somewhere remember that lines or maybe write somewhere. First is कि SSB is subset of your life. If you are doing well in your life, you will do well in your SSB. So this process is designed in such a way कि if you have uh, positive approach towards life, if you are progressive person, SSB में आप जाओगे, there is clear cut instructions being given before all the tasks. So अगर आपको किसी भी चीज का idea नहीं है ना, then also you will be able to crack the SSB if you have right approach towards life. Second sentence I will say is go to SSB as in you are going for a vacation. So why vacation? Because when you go for vacation, you actually enjoy your task. So it is very important to enjoy your task. So जब आप अपने task को enjoy करेंगे, you will be able to give your best. वो 3 मिनट में 2 गोल मारने का प्रेशर रहेगा ना, तो एक भी गोल नहीं बजेगा, एक भी गोल नहीं लगेगा. But if you don't have that performance pressure, and eventually if you are performing very nicely, और अगर आपके टीम मेंबर भी enjoy करके खेल रहे हैं, तो गोल कब लग जाएगा, कितने टाइम में लगेगा, you won't even realize. ठीक है, that is why enjoy your task. Third I will say is you will only get recommended when you are ready to get recommended. Okay, so it is you yourself who recommends yourself. SSers तो बस वो marks डालते हैं in order to clear you from that cutoff. So it is you, your approach, your perspective towards life which gets you recommended. And fourth is कि go to SSB to perform your best. And best example I can give is of myself कि first SSB में I went to perform my best, I got recommended. Second SSB में I went in order to get recommended, I got screened out. Third SSB में I went in order to get recommended, I got conference out. Fourth SSB में I changed my approach, I went without thinking of the result in order to go and perform my best, and I got recommended. So these are the 4 lines I'll always cherish, and eventually कभी आगे भी बात होगी तब भी मैं ये 4 ही repeat करूंगा. तो these are my learnings, and I hope this will help you. बाकी does anyone have any doubt or maybe any query? I can answer that. I hope I have covered the topic very nicely. So किसी को doubt नहीं आ रहे हैं या फिर शर्मा रहे हो सब?
Yes, you have covered the topics very well.
Yes, Bhaiya, you have covered it very well.
Thank you so much. Sir, I think we are
You are
done.
on mute. Sir, you are on mute.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard him taking you through his journey of life so far. All that I always insist upon, that there is nothing better than success that succeeds success. एक सफलता आपके हाथ लगे ना, बाकी सफलता का दौर अपने आप चलेगा. And mind you, SSB, screen out, conference out, recommending, medical out, getting commission, serving your life is all secondary things. Most important for you is be a good human being. If you have lived all through your life that way, there is nothing that you have to worry about. Two principles I have always followed in life. First, I live my today as if it is the last day of my life. And second principle is I put in efforts as if I'm never going to die ever. I'm going to live forever. Okay? Very, very contradicting two statements which I made, but that's what I have been following. And if that be your principles of life, let me tell you, you will never ever let down yourself. Nor would you ever let down your parents or your teachers or the school which you belong to. And your alma mater will always be proud of you. One of the finest things which happened with me in my life was I was invited as a chief guest on 15th of August last year in my school. And next day I get on one of the WhatsApp group a beautiful slogan. He said, work so hard that your school invites you as a chief guest. Mind you, that was something amazing in life. Even if I got my commission or whether when I got my promotion, no doubt I felt happy about those things. But one of the finest things that happened was this, and not very long back, just about a year and a half back, or rather just a year back, year plus. So with this note, we'll call it off. And anyone at any point in time feel you want something, like Shweta just now told me, sir, I want something, fine, you're most welcome. I am available for each one of you 24/7. Around the clock, you need not worry. रात को 2 बजे दिमाग में आता है कि मैं कॉल करूं, yes, I'll pick it up. Generally my phone will always be picked up within a ring or two. अगर आपको साइलेंस आता है टोटली, इट मीन्स आपका नंबर मेरे पास सेव नहीं है. अगर सेव नहीं है तो इसके अंदर आपको जब 10 कॉल करते रहोगे मिस कॉल में जाएगा, और मैं जब देखूंगा तो मुझे पता लगेगा, आपको पता ही नहीं लगेगा. सो इफ यू वांट टू, if your number is not saved with him, it's better that you send your number to me if at all you have got such requirements coming up, so that I save your number. Anybody, any questions further? If not, I'll call it off now. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.
Thank you,
Jai
sir.
sir.
Good night, sir. Jai Hind, sir.
One sec.
Yes, sir.
I've got something very important to show you guys and girls. One sec. I hope nobody's gone out. Okay. I'll just be sharing the screen for a while. Can you all see it?
No, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Can somebody mute?
Yes, sir. 1 minute. I'll mute.
एक मिनट ये कहाँ भाग गया? कैसे करना है यार? Can you ये म्यूट कॉन्म्यूट कैसे करना है इसको? Play this clip, by the way, Ravel.
Yes, sir.
Can you play it for me?
Yes, sir. I can.
Just do it fast.
Yes.
Cook it up a little bit. Yeah, I've given the host right to you, na?
Yes, sir. Is it audible? It's
Yeah,
nothing
audible.
audible.
Yes.
Full screen कर दे हाँ. Yeah, you can put it normal. I will stop sharing screen.
Sir.
Fine. I would have really, felt bad had I missed on to this. Thank you, Ravil, for this wonderful video prepared by you. Ladies and gentlemen, this boy has always been, springing good many surprises for me every time when he gets something. And I really love him from the core of my heart for his hard work and perseverance. One of the one of the youngest in the lot, and yet the output wise is really doing tremendously well. These are certain things which one must focus upon. Okay, go travel, make use of your time. When I find so many people from Reliance Khavdi, township, crying their guts out, literally they're crying, I'm telling you, for the kind of restrictions that they are imposed upon. I always find him smiling, utilizing his time in the best of activities. There are so many of them who are joining me on various activities today. Old, young, younger, everybody. But I'm yet to see somebody utilizing his time as much as what Ravil is doing or what Ayush is doing. Make the best of your time available. I think one of the busiest schedule of my life, which I have gone through, is the lockdown period. Ever since lockdown, and the highest mileage that my vehicle would have done is again during lockdown. I have not left any place to visit nearby Rajkot purely to ensure that nobody goes and sleep hungry at any night. So find something for you of your own. Don't be prompted by somebody. And if you have it in you, even sky is not the limit. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ravil. Thank you, Rutul. And thanks to each one of you. Good night. Jai Hind.
Good
Thank you,
night,
sir.
sir.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank
sir.
you.
Jai Hind.
Good night, sir.
Jai Hind, sir.
Good night.